Welcome back to the Friday Show, presented by Woodbine. I'm Scott Jagow in studio, along with Ray Paulick, who is still on the West Coast enjoying Del Mar. Coming up, we're going to talk about how tracks report equine fatalities. But first, it is a huge weekend on both coasts. Songbird in the Alabama Stakes, and then what should be a classic Pacific Classic with California Chrome, Dortmund, and Beholder. Let's start with Songbird at Saratoga. It is, after all, the graveyard of champions. So do you see her possibly getting beat?
They all get beat sometimes, Scott, almost all of them. Very few horses get through their careers unbeaten, and this is the biggest challenge for Songbird that she's ever had. I thought the coaching club American Oaks, she was tested by Karina Mia at the top of the stretch. It was her first time in a mile and an eighth, but Songbird just kind of went like this and drew off to win easily. I think she's beatable. I think Family Tree, coming out of the cornfields of Iowa and Indiana, can beat Songbird at a mile and a quarter in the Alabama.
Well, she is an improving 3-year-old filly, but so is Songbird. I think you're off your rocker that Songbird is going to lose this race. I agree with that you should think that way as a contrarian and, a favorite doing something they've never done before. You're supposed to bet against them, and I get that. But I just think that Songbird is a really special filly. No way she loses. In fact, I think she wins by her longest margin, stretching out 7 lengths. That's my over-under, 7.
I'll take the unders on that 7 lengths.
All right, fair enough. Now, California Chrome, Beholder, and Dortmund in the Pacific Classic. What do you see here that intrigues you? I mean, obviously, besides the talent of these 3 horses.
To me, this is the best Pacific Classic since Cigar came out here in 1996 with a 16-race winning streak and was beaten by Darren Go. Richard Mandela trained Darren Go. He's won the race 4 times. When they drew post positions the other day, it made a great race that much more interesting because California Chrome down on the inside, to the outside you've got Beholder and Dortmund, and it's going to be a rider's race, I think, because of that. The last time California Chrome drew the rail was the Pennsylvania Derby, and things didn't go so well that day.
Yeah, but of course Victor Espinosa knows what California Chrome likes. He likes to be on the outside. But what's really fascinating about that is that in their one of their last races together, the Beholder Stellar Wind race, Espinosa was on Stellar Wind, and he pinned Beholder down inside with Gary Stevens aboard. Now the tables might be turned. They might pay so much attention to each other that Dortmund is going to steal the race.
I think that's exactly what's going to be. I think Dortmund goes to the lead. Gary Stevens on Beholder, is in the second position with California Chrome and Victor Espinosa. Dortmund steals away and wins the Pacific Classic. Beholder finishes second. And the other Bob Baffert horse, Opportunity, he also trains Dortmund, gets up for third. California Chrome doesn't hit the board. I think he's fourth.
Disrespecting the Chromies there.
Are you a Chromie?
Huh?
Are you a Chromie now?
I'm not necessarily a Chromie, but I mean, California Chrome at this distance is awfully tough. And he's probably got the advantage. But the way Dortmund fought back last time, I mean, that was pretty courageous of him. He's a tough horse. But my pick is Beholder. I still think she's got a big race left in her. And let's go out before we talk about the next subject. Let's watch what she did last year in the Pacific Classic.
Here comes Beholder, and Beholder just breezing on by. Beholder strikes the front. Gary Stevens hasn't moved, and Beholder's opened up to lead by 5. Beholder is absolutely poetry in motion.
So who do you like in this year's Pacific Classic? Let us know by taking our poll on the website paulickreport.com. But let's move on now and talk about a story we linked to this week. It was an investigation by a Washington, D.C. TV station into equine fatalities at Charlestown, 160 of them roughly in a couple of year period. The information came from a Humane Society of the United States database. Now the question here for you, Ray, is why did we have to get the information from that database and not the one that currently exists for our industry?
Right. The Jockey Club started the equine injury database about 6 years ago. It tracks injuries at virtually every racetrack in the country. There's a couple of holdouts. And the information is posted on the Jockey Club website nationally, and it's also available for a number of racetracks so you can find out if a track is above or below the national average. Why all tracks aren't participating in this transparency, I don't understand.
Well, if you go down the list, if you look at it, why all of them isn't even a good question, because hardly any of them are, really. Right. I mean, if you look at the list, there are certainly more that aren't than that are making it public. To me, this is stupid because, newsflash, horse racing is dangerous. Occasionally horses get injured or die because they are participating in a dangerous sport. I just don't see any reason not to make this information public.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the tracks that are publishing the information, basically the NYRA tracks, the Strana Group tracks, most California tracks, and a handful of others. It's a lot of the casino tracks, Churchill Downs tracks aren't participating. Penn National, which owns Charlestown, isn't participating. So the people at Charlestown, I'm sorry, they have no right to complain about this story since their information was not made public on the Jockey Club's equine injury database.
And of course, part of the story is also that they are disagreeing with the West Virginia Racing Commission about how they do certain things, and it's just this endless cycle of, infighting, and then the end result is that we have, as an industry, bad public relations, and you wonder why, because we aren't willing to provide information that is out there and readily available and isn't surprising whatsoever. It's just the information that has been provided has been useful. But in this kind of scenario, you also have to be able to see how individual tracks are faring compared to other ones.
If people are hiding something, you suspect there's a reason for them to be hiding something.
Exactly.
Put it out there. You never win by covering things up.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show presented by Woodbine. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.